It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday presented by DraftKings, America's #1 rated sportsbook app. And it is our first Power Rankings Tuesday of the season, now that we've actually seen every team play at least once. Usually a lot of movement this week. I don't know, Bri. It's interesting. I don't know if there's as much movement as I thought there would be. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman. Most of you are regulars and know that, but we love anybody that gives us a shot and checks us out for the first time. We got a bunch of different shows for you. Even Money Podcast comes out today. We've been very successful for those of you that like to make wagers on the games on that show. 2-0 on our best bets on even money to start the year, which is pretty awesome. Fantasy Feast podcast Wednesday and Thursday to help you set your lineups. Plus, I would just say, even if you're not into fantasy football or betting, just listening to us discuss the games from that perspective is really interesting. College Draft podcast yesterday with Emory Hunt came out, getting you ready for the biggest games in college football. And yes, there are some big games that Emory and I were able to break down, and he is excellent on the top prospects that we break down there on that show. And then, of course, Andrew Brandt joins me every Wednesday and has the Business of Sports podcast. We are the little engine that could. We're not at the Ringer or Spotify or NFL.com or ESPN.com. It's just us. So it means a great deal to us when you guys spread the word via social media. It's a really easy thing to do. I pick a winner each week that gets either a signed picture, a signed football card, or a signed press pass. And I'm starting to rack up the press passes. I've got a nice here. I'll show it. Now that we're on YouTube, I can show you guys. I got a nice press box pass from Giants Steelers last night. Pretty cool. Has my picture on it. Ross Tucker, Westwood One Sports. And it happens to be my press pass from my first Monday night football game in the booth ever. Now, I've done a million sideline games, and I've done several playoff games in the booth, and I did a Sunday night game in the booth, but I don't know. There's something kind of special about Monday night and something cool to be able to be in the booth on Monday Night Football. I don't know. Somebody needs to look it up. I think maybe I'm the worst player that ever got to be in the booth for Monday Night Football, in terms of the color commentator. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Anyway, all you have to do is spread the word via social media or take advantage of any of our sponsors, and you can maybe get that press pass or the other ones. I should mention, while we're at it, by the way, that we give YouTube shout-outs to a new subscriber every week. Today would be a good day to subscribe to YouTube if you want to see what I look like when I'm really tired. Yeah, I don't know. I went to bed at like 2 last night, got up at 6, so working on 4 hours sleep. We've never had this issue before where I had to worry about how I looked, but I got the puffy eyes going. My hair's a mess. So maybe that's how we can get more YouTube subscribers. Go ahead, youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL and see what I look like when I look like crap. There you go. That's our new selling point. Look at videos of Ross looking bad. But, maybe it's not like I look good otherwise. We also will post a bunch of clips from today's shows on our social media platforms, which is at Ross Tucker NFL, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as at Ross Tucker Pod. Intern Casey does an excellent, excellent job there. And really, for those of you that listen to the show on, whatever platform you listen to it, I think the coolest thing about YouTube is that Casey posts, what we feel like are the 30-second to 1-minute highlight clips from the show on YouTube. So if you ever want to go back rather than listen to the whole show again and just watch, my body language or mannerisms when certain things happened, you can absolutely do that just by checking out the highlight clips. We have a whole highlight playlist on the YouTube page, youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL. It is week 3 for the Madden code winner, which means you take advantage of the DraftKings Sportsbook app, put the code in, Ross, send me that screenshot, especially if you deposit something, you got a good shot of getting the third Madden code this week. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross. So let's start with the game you were at MetLife Stadium. The Steelers 26, Giants 16. Your thoughts?
Couple things to start out, Bri. I mean, number one, it was really bizarre. I've been doing these Army games, but it's a little bit different. You're on TV and the cadets there, the Corps of Cadets are still there. And I still have the same transportation up to Mikey Stadium to do those games. It was different. I mean, Bri, picture MetLife Stadium. I'm sure you saw the same thing in Atlanta Sunday, but picture MetLife Stadium, no cars. And in the parking lot, maybe 30 cars, like staff and media members, maybe 40 cars in the whole MetLife Stadium parking lot. Just bizarre. Then I'm sitting there and I feel like Ian Eagle and I were getting like our own little private viewing of an NFL Monday Night Football game because we're in the booth. I don't see anybody else on either side of me. And, because we're in a booth. And then you look down and there's nobody in the stands. I'm sitting there thinking, I wonder what people would pay for this. Like, it's like, what can you get, Bri, with like movies? You can pay like crazy money for a private showing, or, you can pay a lot of money to have somebody come, a famous musician play at your house, like a private show or whatever. I feel like Ian Eagle, that we paid tens of thousands of dollars to get a private showing of the Giants and the Steelers last night. Really, really a unique situation. Really unique situation. I should point out, Bri, because I know it's why some of you come, the press box food for the Giants was very standard. They had 4 options. They had a tuna salad option, a chicken salad option, a turkey and Swiss option, a ham and Swiss option, all of which came with Lay's potato chips, 1 cookie, and an apple. So the first important question, Bri, is which choice do you think I made?
I'm going to go with the tuna.
Oh, my gosh. I would never eat tuna salad or chicken salad in a million years.
Oh, you're not a mayo.
They have mayonnaise,
Yeah.
and I despise mayonnaise. Bri, we talk every day, multiple times a day. I thought I'm hurt, Bri. I'm hurt. I thought you knew me better than that.
All right, then I'm going to go with the turkey. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, and you still got it wrong. Ham and Swiss.
Yeah.
Ham and you literally got the last choice. Anyway, I'm going to give them a C+. It was very standard for as far as boxed foods go. So again, we do not complain. We evaluate. Very standard, and all of it was fine. The ham, it was fine. It was like I was on a 3rd grade field trip. It was fine. They had a hot dog at halftime, which wasn't bad. I probably didn't need to eat that, especially because I'd packed 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in my car for afterwards. Anyway, yeah. So I'll give it a C. As for the game, I thought the Giants, got off to a pretty good start. Daniel Jones was in rhythm. They get the muffed punt from Deontay Johnson. They needed to score a touchdown there. They only got 3. But then, even after the Steelers got 3 points themselves, Daniel Jones, who I thought did a lot of positive things, threw that deep post to Darius Slayton for a touchdown. Some good things were happening. It kind of all flipped when TJ Watt surprised Daniel Jones, got in the throwing lane. Daniel Jones threw it right to him. And it felt like at that point, all of the momentum went from the Giants to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That led to a sort of a fadeaway jumper touchdown by Ben Roethlisberger, backpedaling. Then late in the first half, that incredible effort on the goal line by James Washington to bust through. I think I tweeted at Ross Tucker NFL. You guys should check it out. It looks like it's like anatomically impossible for him to have scored a touchdown on that play, but he did, and that was huge. Then the Giants go on a long drive in the third quarter. Daniel Jones is running around, making plays, doing great, but Bud Dupree hits him at like the 6-yard line. Ball goes in the air. Cam Hayward, of all people, gets the interception. And that was kind of it, because then it was a lot of Benny Snell, who had a really nice night, as James Conner was a little banged up, to a Juju for a late touchdown. The Giants got a late touchdown from Darius Slayton, but at that point, it was kind of too little, too late. You know what's not too little, too late? For you guys to get in on some of these deals at DraftKings. Look, I'm just telling you, first of all, I guess it's too late for the survivor pool, but they still have DFS and other stuff for those of you that are in states where you can't legally make a wager. But if you're in one of these states popping up, Colorado and Illinois, where you can make a wager, I mean, there's a bunch of them now. You place a $1 bet on any team, and if that bet wins, that team wins, you get $100. So you're getting 100 to 1 odds on a bet that would not be 101 odds. So I would say between last week and this week, take it, please. If you're ever going to make a wager, get the DraftKings app on your phone now, whether you're going to make a wager now or not. Either way, you can get on your phone and throw the code Ross in so they know I sent you for when your state does go legal. But if you're able to take advantage of some of these offers, do it. I mean, they're not going to have these kind of offers forever. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Ross when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. Pick any team during week 2. Bet $1 on them and win $100 if they win. That's $1 to win $100 when you use promo code Ross during sign-up. Limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, PA only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, the other game we got to talk about, the other Monday Night Football game, Titans 16, the Broncos 14. Stephen Gostkowski salvages a horrendous night, hitting that game-winning field goal for Tennessee.
Really an interesting game. I was driving back from MetLife Stadium, about 2.5 hours from me, listening to Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner call most of the game. Then I got the chance to see the last drive. Stephen Gostkowski, do you know what makes Stephen Gostkowski unique as it relates to me, Bri?
Were you on the Patriots at the same time?
Yes. Off the top of my head, Tom Brady, Jason Peters, Stephen Gostkowski, they might be the only 3 guys still playing in the NFL that were my teammates at one point. I can't think of anybody else. Maybe one of you guys, maybe one of the Tuckheads. They're usually on top of that stuff. Patreon.com/RT Media. Maybe one of you guys, I don't know if there's a way to Google search that or whatever you call it. I was so happy that Gostkowski got a chance to kick the game-winning field goal and that he made it. They still might release him today, although, he missed 3 field goals, extra point. Although, his salary is guaranteed, Bri. If you're in your 5th year or later and you're on the opening game roster, your salary is guaranteed for the rest of the year. So, man, I mean, if they cut him, he gets paid for the next 16 weeks to do nothing. He only had to work one night, but that's not what he wants. He's had such a good career. He doesn't want to go out like that. I hope they don't cut him. I hope they let him make amends. He should have a pretty long leash given what he's done in his career, but I guess you never know. Weird game. I felt like both teams offensively did some really positive things and moved the football. They just couldn't finish. The Titans kept getting bogged down for field goal attempts and missing them. The Broncos went for it on 4th down and did that shovel pass to Jake Butt. Rashaan Evans got kicked out of the game. I mean, there was a lot of unique things that went on in that game. Ultimately, though, the Titans found a way to get it done. Corey Davis made some nice plays for them, which really, really helped. Let's do some power rankings.
It's time for the all-important Power Rankings. The worst team in the history of the NFL is...
This week at number 32, the New York Jets.
They earned it. They might not be the worst team in the history of the NFL, but there's a decent chance of the worst team this year. That was horrific on Sunday in Buffalo.
Number 31, the Cleveland Browns.
This might be a little harsh. They were 21. I dropped them to 31. I think this is the most movement of any team. It's only a one-game sample size. They played a team that's really high in my power rankings. That said, it's the only game sample size so far. And there were some very concerning signs, I felt like, from Baker Mayfield in that game.
Number 30, the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers didn't move. That's kind of what I thought they would be. Able to put some points up, but just not able to stop anybody, and that's kind of what they are.
29, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Man, it's so interesting, Bri. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe Gardner Minshew is like a legit NFL starting quarterback. Everybody kind of thinks the Jags, I don't believe they're tanking, but the Jags are rebuilding. They're going young. They've traded away a lot of assets for picks, a lot of belief that they would be in the Trevor Lawrence market, but maybe they don't have to be. That would be one. Remind me, Bri, if I don't get a chance to check out Jags Colts on NFL Game Pass, the condensed game, remind me to talk to Greg about Gardner Minshew on Thursday, because I'm curious. I might have to go back and watch that condensed game on NFL Game Pass, because it's so easy. It's like 40 minutes. It's so nice to be able to just really quickly watch every snap from the game. I just kind of want to see how Phillip Rivers looked and the Colts looked. I want to see how Minshew looked, because I didn't see a lot of that game, on the Red Zone channel on Sunday while I'm also watching the Eagles and trying to watch everything I can. They didn't feature that game all that much. You guys can go back and watch it, though. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial today. Again, NFL.com/Game Pass, where football never stops.
Number 28, the Washington Football Club.
Yeah, I kind of like Washingtons.
You like that?
Washingtons. I still don't think that they are a great team, but they showed tremendous resilience and heart. And they've got a really nasty D-line, which gives them a chance. And frankly, their secondary played a lot better than I thought they would. So they're moving on up.
27, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bengals moved up one spot, but they're about who I thought they were. Joe Burrow does a lot of positive things. The O-line really struggles. I guess I would say the Bengals defense played a little bit better than I thought they would.
Also moving up one spot. Number 26, the Chargers.
And they're both really moving up one spot because who dropped? The Jets? Who dropped it? They're moving up.
Both the Jets.
Oh, the Browns. The Browns. Yeah. They're really only moving up because the Browns moved down. The Chargers didn't do anything to show me that they are deserving of going ahead and really moving up. They were very fortunate in many ways to get that win. And I wish they were still in San Diego so that they would be the San Diego Superchargers. San Diego Chargers. By the way, I just don't see how long Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback if you can only score 16 points against the Bengals defense, even though they're beat up, no Trey Waynes, and they gifted you a couple turnovers. I think it's probably Herbert time before you know it.
Number 25, the Giants.
Already talked about them. They're exactly what I thought they were on both sides of the ball. That's pretty much exactly what I thought we would get from them last night.
24, at the same spot as last week, the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins did not move. Miami Dolphins They need to score more points or it'll be Tua time. This is how it works. When you have a bridge quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tyrod Taylor, if you score very few points, they will put the rookie quarterback they took in the top 5, they will put him in sooner rather than later.
Number 23, the Chicago Bears.
So the Bears moved up 3 spots. They won the game. Mitch Trubisky made some plays late. Give him credit. Allen Robinson made a play. Anthony Miller made a play. They won a game on the road. Move them on up a little bit.
22, also unchanged from last week, the Atlanta Falcons.
I got a new nickname for them, Brian. They're the Fantasy Falcons. They're the Fantasy Falcons. The greatest fantasy football team ever assembled in terms of everybody. Everybody eats every week. If you got them on your fantasy team, they just lose the game, which is kind of the goal.
21, the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. By the way, the Falcons secondary is who I thought they were. I told you all offseason that I thought they had the worst secondary in the NFL, at least worst corners, and they do. Vikings, though, gave them a run for their money. Wow. Aaron Rodgers carved them up. Vikings dropped pretty significantly after giving up 43 points at home.
Where are we? Number 20, the Houston Texans.
So I only moved them down 1 spot. I don't know that I took that much out of that one game against the Chiefs. I guess, the positive was that I thought David Johnson showed more than I was expecting him to have.
Number 19, the Broncos.
Talked about the Broncos. I guess I would say that they probably played a little bit better defense last night, Bri, than I thought they would without Von Miller. So that's a feather in their cap. And, Drew Lock's out there playing. Lindsey gets hurt. He's out there playing without KJ Hamler, without Cortland Sutton. So I feel like the Broncos have a chance to move up.
Number 18, the Detroit Lions.
Same old Lions, kind of. I mean, I only dropped them 3 spots, but it feels like same old with the Lions. I'd be curious to see, for those of you that already have the BetQL app on your phone or that go to betql.com and put the code ROSS20 in order to get 20% off your first payment. That's the site with all the algorithm that scans hundreds of data points to give you best bet recommendations. I'd be curious for the Lions and other teams how much their recommendations and their best bets change this week after one game of information.
Number 17, the Philadelphia Eagles.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Boy, that was not good. They are banged up even more so than they were going into the game. They still have offensive line issues, and they're playing a Rams team Sunday that looks pretty good.
Number 16, the Tennessee Titans.
Kind of exactly what I thought. I got to be honest with you, Bri. I feel pretty good about my initial power rankings. I was getting crushed by Jason Montgomery, Tuckheads Jay, and the other guys on our Slack channel about, see, Ross, you had this team here. Honestly, I don't think I was that off, fellas, ladies, Becky, Betsy, everybody. I don't think I was that off. I feel okay about it.
Number 15, the Indianapolis Colts.
So I dropped the Colts a couple spots. That's obviously a really bad loss, but they had 450 yards and didn't punt once. I guess the bigger surprise is that they allowed the Jags to score 27 points.
Number 14, the Las Vegas, almost called them Oakland Raiders.
I did not move them up, Bri. But that's because I think I had them higher than a lot of other people did already. I already had them at 14. I already think that the Raiders have a good chance to go to the playoffs. So I don't think I saw anything one way or the other for them to move up more than that.
Number 13, the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys? Look, they dropped a bunch because I thought the Rams moved the ball pretty well on them. Blake Jarwin's out for the season. Van Der Esch is out for a while. And the Cowboys still just don't finish. They don't finish games. They don't finish a lot of drives. They're just like they're that team.
Number 12, the LA Rams.
So this is a team I was way off on. So the people on our private Slack channel, the patrons, patreon.com/RT Media. If you're looking for a team I was way off on, it's the Rams. And you know what? Their offensive line is better. I got to give McVay credit. I thought no Brandon Cooks, no Todd Gurley would hurt more, no Dante Fowler on defense, but Rams are better than I gave him credit for sure.
Number 11, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So they dropped from 5 to 11. I have a feeling they'll start to move back up, but a lot of mistakes, a lot of issues. I still think their defense is pretty decent, and I think their offense will figure it out. It's just a lot of newness with Brady in there.
Number 10, speaking of Brady, the New England Patriots.
Moved them up 2 spots, but truth be told, about what I was expecting from Cam and co. I thought they'd run him a lot. I still think they will. I don't think that they have any visions of keeping him really after this year, so I think they're going to utilize his legs while they can.
Number 9, the Arizona Cardinals.
So the Cardinals, I moved up from 17 to 9. That's a little bit weird to me because I thought I was higher on the Cardinals. If you listen to the Even Money podcast, which you should, and it comes out on Tuesdays, Steve and I both like the Cardinals to cover the spread with the points there. So, and I'm not surprised at all that they won the game outright. I guess I still was curious about right tackle and some of the other issues on defense, but all in all, I think the Cardinals are pretty good. I'm not overly surprised there.
Number 8, the 49ers.
I'm trying not to drop them too much just based on that one game. You know, they had a pretty nice sample size last year that showed a lot. So I'm trying not to drop them too much. But, you know, I mean, they didn't look like an elite team on Sunday. That's for sure. And Garoppolo, I thought he had some concerning signs.
Number 7, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Kind of already talked about them. I'm pretty high on the Steelers coming into the season. I'm a little surprised I only had them at 11. That was mainly because I wanted to see what Big Ben looked like, what Big Ben could do. And what we saw is that after the first quarter, when he was probably a little bit rusty, man, he was good after that. I mean, he was really, after that first quarter, I thought Ben did some really, really positive things, which is why they move up quite a few spots.
Number 6, the Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers was unreal. That's the positive news. I guess the negative is they gave up more points defensively than I thought they would. And Lane Taylor, who I think got hurt in the opener last year, battles back, comes all the way back from that to get the starting job in Cleveland again at left guard. He's out for the season again, which is just brutal. I hate injuries. I've got so much respect for people that fight through injuries to come back, like Jerick McKinnon and like Lane Taylor. And then when they get hurt again, it just hurts. It hurts. Also have so much respect for all kinds of people that serve around our country. Police, fire, EMS, medical workers on the front lines like doctors and nurses, of course, military units. I know that there are different companies that have, you know, military first responder discounts, but typically like you're going from website to website to try to find these different first responder discounts. What about a website that has everything for you? I mean, that's GovX. They've got everything you're ordering is 100% authentic. And if you're going to pay out of your own pocket, they even have like gear that you need for your jobs. You shouldn't have to pay a premium to get the gear you need. That's the key. So if you're an American of service, join GovX. You have to have proof. You know, you have to have proof, an ID card that says you are one of those people, frontline medical, law enforcement, emergency medical, But if you are, go to GovX, that's govx.com, sign up for free for instant access to tons of deal and a community that honors your service. And the code is Ross. You get $15 off your first order over $50. So use the code Ross for $15 off your first order of $50 or more. GovX.com. Love you guys and love that you have something like that.
Number 5, the Seattle Seahawks.
Not surprised, Bri. I have them winning the NFC West. They let Russ cook. He's an unbelievable player. I guess they gave up more points than I thought they would, but how many of that was garbage late when they already had the lead? And that's kind of what Matt Ryan does, finds a way to get a bunch of points and yards late.
Number 4, the Buffalo Bills.
Move them up 3 spots. Look pretty darn good, both sides of the ball. Just need Josh Allen to not have those turnovers, and the Bills could be exactly what I think they're going to be this year, which is AFC East champs.
Number 3, the New Orleans Saints.
Not much to say here. They're pretty much what we all thought that they would be, really on both sides of the ball. I mean, it wasn't even a great game for them, and they still beat the Bucs by double digits.
Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens.
I was talking to Ian Eagle about this in the booth last night, Bri, and he said the Ravens looked really good. He did their game for CBS on Sunday. And I said to him, how much was bad Browns? How much was good Ravens? He said a little bit of both, but Ravens really look sharp. They got all the pieces back from last year. I hope we get that Ravens-Chiefs AFC Championship game this year that we didn't get last year. Although, I feel like the Bills and the Steelers might actually be good enough to crash that party at some point.
Russ's number 1 team, which is totally meaningless, but it's fun and will get many of you incredibly annoyed, is...
I don't think you're getting anybody annoyed with this. This week, again, the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1.
Right. Although I think you can make an argument based on how the Chiefs looked and how the Ravens looked. I think you can make an argument to put the Ravens 1. So that'll be something to remember. It's not college football where if you keep winning, you keep number 1 spot. No. I have the power. I control that. I have the microphone and you don't. And what movie, Bri?
Oh, I don't know.
Sir, I have the microphone and you don't. And if you don't shut your trap, I will strangle you with this.
Keep going. Don't know.
Thing like that. His name's Robbie. Set in the 80s. He's got long hair. He sings at weddings.
Oh, yeah. Adam Sandler.
Do you know the name of the movie?
The Wedding Singer?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sings at weddings was pretty significant hint, I'd say.
Yeah, that's good. Good clip.
Pretty big hint there. The Chiefs. Yes. I mean, look, they are who we thought they were. Shout outs, Pizza Boy Brewing, DynastyFreaks.com, Sporticulture, really a cool gift, SteakhouseSports.com, if you want to have a little steak in the game, Vision Comics with an X. I love that we've got 5. I think we're done here. I think the max we would ever take there is 9. So you still have a chance to get in. Just go to patreon.com/RTmedia to have thousands and thousands of people hear your business's name every single day. Please listen to the other shows. We really appreciate it when you do. Spread the word via social media is huge, or just tell your family and friends about it. Heck, you can that could be a way you win. Just text message a bunch of people. Yo, you need to listen to Ross Tucker podcast or any of his shows. They're awesome. And then send me that screenshot. It's probably even better than spreading the word via social media. Just text people directly. Just badger your family and friends. That's what we're asking you to do here. Anyway, that'll do it for a Power Rankings Tuesday. We've got Andrew Brandt tomorrow, Fantasy Feast tomorrow, and we've got Steve Fezzik, Even Money early edition. That'll be up before you know it this morning. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, RossTucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.